Salutations folks, this is Paul of the NWO is Bunk channel, and by now it's old news. The raids that took place on the Hutaree Militia up in Michigan. It was a right-wing theocratic militia group that was planning to murder a police officer and then was planning ambushes on the memorial service. This situation has, a lot of the militia types in this country looking around, wondering who in their group is a federal agent, because it's come out that there was an undercover FBI agent that was involved with this group. And of course the spin on the far right from people like Alex Jones is that this was the work of a government agent provocateur. And they're going to say that no matter what the facts are. But this story definitely has sent, everybody's favorite conspiracy theory paranoid radio host Alex Jones into full-blown camouflage, paint on the face, full magazine, finger on the trigger, paranoia mode. He has taken the night train to crazy land. He has cranked up... he has cranked up Crazy Train, and he is banging his head like there's no tomorrow. He's convinced that, government agents provocateur were working this group, and they were ordered to, take down this group in order to make people who think like him look insane. And to be quite frank, it's understandable why Alex Jones is so paranoid, because he's actually connected to this in somewhat of an odd way. And I wanted to point out this to you folks, because some of you may not be aware of this, and you may be hearing this for the first time because you don't spend a great amount of your time looking at Alex Jones's website or listening to his radio program. But oddly enough, Alex is connected to this group that was raided in Michigan in kind of an odd way. I should kind of clarify that. He's claiming that he is connected to them. I'm not sure if this story is true, but I'll basically relate the story to you as best as I can, and I'll put the appropriate links in the description of this video. A number of months ago, back in August, Alex Jones interviewed an individual who was connected to a group called the Ohio State Militia. The individual that he interviewed was a person who called himself Pale Horse, which is a nod to the verse in Revelation that talks about a pale horse and a rider on it named Death, and a title of a book by the late William Cooper. So, Pale Horse got some play in the mainstream media because he had made some videos promoting the Ohio Militia, and he basically was telling people to buy guns because basically the shit was about to hit the fan, things were going to get really ugly, cannibalism in the streets. Typical survivalist bullshit. So he contacted the Alex Jones show, and he was interviewed on the air by Alex. And the interview was a pretty bizarre affair, because Alex was pretty paranoid during the interview. Alex pretty much accused Pale Horse of being a government agent or a patsy of some sort. And Pale Horse got pretty flustered during the interview, but pretty much the prevalent theme of that interview was Alex was suspicious of who Pale Horse was. He thought maybe Pale Horse was a government agent, basically sent in to discredit the militia movement. So it turns out, and this is the only place I've seen this reported, so I don't know how credible the story is, but one of the people that was policed up in the Michigan raids was supposedly the Pale Horse individual, and his real name is Christopher Sickles. And I will go ahead and put some links in the description of this video so that you can, if you would like, you can go ahead and listen to the interview that Alex had with Pale Horse, and you can read about Christopher Sickles, and you can go ahead and make up your own mind. But this has Alex pretty wound up and paranoid. My guess is Alex is very paranoid these days because Alex, being a creature of the right, is in a country right now that has an administration that's viewed as pretty liberal. And, you know, I've said it time and time again. A lot of the rhetoric that I'm hearing now with Obama in office, it's pretty identical to what I heard during the Clinton years. There was a lot of militia activity during the Clinton years, and it's my hope that just like during the Clinton years that it'll die down once Obama leaves office, because it did tend to die down after Clinton left office. And it died down quite a bit after the Oklahoma City bombing, because that got rid of a lot of the fence sitters, the people who were just kind of hobbyists and just hanging around militias. But the problem with that is it left the really hardcore folks. So one of the good things that comes out of this situation in Michigan is that it has a lot of the militia types that might be prone to violence thinking twice, because they're not sure who in their group is some type of government agent who's infiltrated their organization. And, you know, that's not paranoid at all, because, you know, the government definitely is concerned these days about those type of groups, considering the type of administration that we have in office right now. But anyway, I just wanted to share that information with you, because it is pretty interesting. You know, with tax time coming up, I have to say I'm a little worried about some sort of violent incident. I really hope nothing happens as a result of you know, people protesting taxes. You know, somebody decides to let off a few rounds or blow something up. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But Alex Jones is definitely playing the false flag terrorism card for all it's worth. He's predicting some major false flag operation in April, so he's getting his audience really ramped up on that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe if you would like. And all right, well, until next time, let us be free from all anxiety and senseless fear.